Are we ready?
You're on.
All right.
We just gave
That was
this.
awkward.
We're like,
Oh my gosh. This
Awkward
is
but
how it's going to
expected.
be tonight.
This is
We're
how
in
it
trouble.
opens.
I
We
know.
are.
Hey guys, I'm Rhonda Dracoulis, RK3 Designs. Tuesday night live. Welcome. I got my two sidekicks here tonight. Mitch, Stone Coat Countertop.
how's everybody doing? Happy to be in Texas again. We're doing some floor projects. We're doing hands-on training. Gonna be a good day.
I
Good
know.
week.
And I got my Keith McGinnis with KCDC Designs.
Yep, happy to be here as well. It's been a dusty day.
It has been
Concrete
a dusty
dust
day.
everywhere. So excited to be here. It's going to be fun.
I know. So this was day one of some flooring projects that we're doing here at our studio, and we're shooting a bunch of content, and we're gonna be bringing you guys some really good videos. So we're learning a lot. I'm learning a lot, and we're having a lot of fun, and I cannot wait to share the videos that we do and show you my amazing floors that we're doing. All right, so
Yeah.
tonight, what we're gonna do is we're gonna just take questions from you guys. We've got a couple to start with, but because we're rolling out the new flooring, probably the predominant discussion is gonna be the floors. But absolutely, guys, we will stay here and answer as many questions as we can tonight. So start putting your questions out there. So we've got our moderators on tonight.
Yes.
Erica, Bam, Clara, awesome. So we've got the best moderators ever.
You really do.
I know.
We've stole a couple.
I know. They're
We love 'em.
amazing. They're moonlighting on me, aren't they? Yeah.
They are. They're the best in the industry.
That's right, guys. So give our moderators, Clara, Erica, and Vamp, a thumbs up. They do an amazing job.
Oh,
But
Luke's in there too. I see.
Luke!
What's
Hello.
up, Luke?
yeah, so if y'all see the Stone Coat Countertop answering, that is our friend Luke.
Yep.
But we have to all admit, the most important person of the entire
You better
night
believe it.
is Kenny.
Oh yeah.
The
Behind the camera.
most. Behind.
Especially with the way we started this show. Perfect.
Yeah. Thanks for
Class
letting
was
us
a-
know we were
That's-
live.
I watched the video. It's epic. We're all staring at the camera with the blinker.
So-
You're already live.
Yeah,
It was
so
great. I love coming out here. Let us know where y'all watching from too. We got a bunch of people in here.
I know.
Let us know where you're watching. We love seeing where you watch from, and
Brett.
share the video. That helps the channel grow big
Yeah,
time.
it does. It does. Yeah, definitely share that. Okay, so one announcement that I want to make is congratulations, Miss Clara Lawrence. She has a new PDF
Oh,
book
wow.
out today
Yes.
on her alcohol dye application. And Clara, if you'll be sure to put that link in the comments, and everybody go check out that. Go check out her website and check out her book that she has. So we're super, super proud
Yeah.
of Clara. She's just
It's the recipes.
insanely
Yep.
Yes, for
Yes.
those alcohol
It's
dye colors.
she's
that
insanely
everybody's asking for.
talented. It's just it's crazy.
Yeah, she
So,
came up with that. I mean, alcohol inks look so pretty, but a lot of alcohol inks will fade out in UV. But she came
Right.
up with these where they will not. They're stable. They can go right in the countertops. And golly, some of the looks you can get.
It's crazy.
Both
I
of
think
y'all
her
made
and Erica
beautiful
did a
stuff.
whole bunch of stuff together and kind of developed this
Script.
technique. And then they tried to show me. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
can do it. It ain't nothing. What like them? What? Talk louder.
A little bit louder. Yeah. How's everybody hearing us? Let us know.
You're good.
Rhonda needs to go up.
No, Rhonda
No,
can
I'm
stay where she's
always loud.
It's me.
The
Copy.
alcohol dyes with the alcohol colors, that's the most difficult part.
at. You don't have to look up. You just have to
Just
talk
I'm
speak
out.
seeing where the mic is, so I know where to
doesn't matter.
direct and where to.
Just say it. Just speak louder.
It's getting warm in here again.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But the alcohol dye colors, that's what's difficult to create, to get that right color that you like. And then for me, it's hard to, because I'm just mixing and matching until I get that color the way I like it. And so Clara has the recipes down for all of those colors to know how many drops of the alcohol dyes, if there's mica powders to add to it, to get those colors that you like, and she's got it down to a science. So when you run out of that particular color, you've got that recipe to be able to replicate that. And Clara, thank you so much. Everybody's been asking for that, and I'm really excited about being able to have that PDF and have those recipes
Yeah.
for those colors. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's a lot of work I
Alright.
know she put into that. So Clara, thank you.
Well, let's get this party started. And Mitch, why don't you just start us off with telling everyone what you've been working on and what
Cool.
Stone Coat has released?
All right, yeah. Let's start. I'll say kind of what we did today because
Yeah.
We started on day one of epoxy flooring, and we're doing both the metallic marble and we're doing the epoxy flake system. Here at Rhonda's shop, there's a covered patio that we all eat lunch at for the hands-on training. You better come to one of those classes if you haven't been here yet. They're epic. Anyway, so we're gonna do the epoxy flake system outside. That's a cool feature of that flake system. It can go outside. The polyaspartic top coat is extremely UV stable. It won't amber in direct sunlight. So day one, we started with filling the cracks and grinding. So we're in the big city here. We headed to San Antonio. We got a concrete grinder, awesome one
Huge.
that I can't
Beast.
get.
Shout out to Sunbelt.
Yeah, Sunbelt Rentals. That's
Yep.
a good. We should have brought that up. Doing these classes. We'll talk
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we got that grinder. It did about. We had I think about 1,200 square feet or so to grind. We did that in about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
At the
It-
most.
At most, real quick. You could, if you go to get a smaller grinder, you can do that in about 3 to 4 hours. So this bad boy did it quick. Hard work's in the taillights. We returned the unit. We came back and we filled the cracks in the metallic room. Outside where we're doing the flake, the expansion joints were put in the wet mud, so they're rounded. They look real pretty, and the flake system looks real pretty going into those cracks. So we kept those cracks on the outside. So the crack patch is drying. Tomorrow morning, we're going to put a moisture seal epoxy primer. That is the first layer that goes down to the freshly ground concrete. That is the go-to industry standard when going over concrete. It penetrates in like tree roots, gives you a great foundation. So that goes down in the metallic room. It's about 25 by 25, where Kenny's golf simulator is going to be. It's going to be
The party
the
room.
party man cave party room. I'm pumped about that. Kenny's going to teach me how to golf with my fake hip in there, so that's going to be epic.
Tell them how many people there were. How many
How many people were working? So Kitty, myself, Juan, and Keith. So 4 of us, but really, to do the grinder, it was one guy.
Yeah.
And you're just going back and forth. It's hooked up to a vacuum. It gets most of the dust. So Kenny and I ran everything back, while Juan and Keith came back with a 7-inch grinder to get the perimeter. Because a big machine, you're left with about 4 to 5 inches, maybe even tighter.
At the most, yeah.
To the obstacles. The obstacles were some steel poles. The AC units were there, and then just the perimeter of the building. You got to get tight to
Getting
that.
close to the walls and stuff.
So as we ran back, Keith and Juan hit the perimeter and then taped off the bottom. So
And that
Thank
was
you
that
for
was
that.
really
That-
quick with those diamond grinders.
Cool.
That was actually
with
really,
the 7
really
and
quick.
4-inch diamond
Yep.
grinders,
The
which
4-inch was great for getting into the tight spots, and
Yep.
that 7-inch was also great as long as you keep it flat.
Yep.
Just actually skimming over it just really
just
ground it nicely.
ground away.
Yeah, it's
And
awesome.
then we got rid of the dust, vacuumed everything up, and applied the crack patch. And the crack patch is it's the floor patch epoxy gel. It's an epoxy product, so it's like Bondo on an hour timer, pretty much. It's a
Yeah.
little different. It's thicker. It's gonna tool a little different. You're gonna mix it the same. There's 2 colors. You mix it till it's 1 color, and then you apply that into the crack. The
And you
one,
have about an hour open time, you said?
yeah, an hour
Okay.
open time, and you can sand it in 4 hours.
Perfect.
So tomorrow, before we put down that first primer coat,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
what kind of grinder are we going to use to go over that patch that we put down?
Great question. You could use a metal fiber sanding disc like we used to do the rock face.
Right.
Or you could use that 7 or 4-inch diamond grinder and just buzz that
The
nice and
advantage
smooth.
to that grinder that we use is the fact that you can put it perfectly flat.
And just
It
buzz
just,
it.
Yeah, buzz right
Yep.
across top of it.
And we overfilled it just a hair because epoxy, the crack patch will self-level just a hair. And you don't want a little valley, especially on the metallic floor, because you'll want it nice and smooth, and that can go through. So we kept it a little bit proud, and then we'll come back, sand that back down to the concrete, and then it's moisture seal epoxy primer time, and that's very easy to apply. It'll go about 250 to 300 square feet per gallon and a half. And it's pre-tinted black, tan, or gray. And that goes with the flake colors, but black looks super sharp underneath metallic floors, no matter what you're doing. I did a gray floor, and whenever you put micas over black, I mean, it contrasts so well, right?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we put the black down in Kenny's room, and we're gonna do tan and a little bit of Rhonda teal on there. So we got a little custom flake color to make a custom blend for Rhonda.
Yeah.
And we're gonna put tan outside. The flake system is even faster than the metallic because you don't have, you're putting the moisture down and then you throw the flake right into that.
Right.
And let that dry overnight. Now you're top coating. That's a whole 1 day less.
Right.
Doing the flake versus the metallic floor.
Right.
So,
So
with
I
that,
had a
oh, go ahead.
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, with that moisture barrier,
Yeah.
do I no longer then have to be concerned about the moisture content in my concrete?
No, you need to test that first. You
Okay.
want to do, so we have a DIY hillbilly test that you can do, which is just taping plastic down. And you're looking for moisture that's trying to escape that slab. If you completely seal that plastic up and you have moisture coming through the slab, it's going to show. It's going to darken the slab, or there'll be moisture on the bottom of that plastic in extreme cases. So if you come back the next day, 24 hours later, and you peel that plastic, it's 100% dry, no moisture, you're good to go. You really
So
are.
let me ask
If
you-
you have moisture,
Yeah.
there's a calcium chloride test, which is the next level. We have a link on our flooring landing page, on the homepage at Stone Coat, which then it's a little more scientific, and that tells you how much in like pounds per square inch pressure is coming up. And how you do that is you have a little plastic dome. It's 19 bucks. You could get it on Amazon. You have calcium chloride. You weigh it. Boom. You write down the measurement. You put that in there. You got to grind the slab first, and then you put the dome over that. 24 hours later, you weigh it again, and yet that determines how much moisture was absorbed in the calcium chloride. There's a little formula. You put it in, and it tells you how much pressure is going to be
So
coming
So
how
out.
is this just
much?
a postage scale I can use?
So I think it's yeah, exactly a postage scale.
Okay.
I don't have that memorized. It's on the technical data sheet, but it's extreme. It's like we did the numbers on it. It's like 90% of slabs are going to be able to have the moisture seal primer applied to it.
So it's uncommon to have that much moisture.
Correct.
Gotcha.
It's like really uncommon, but there are cases for it. So.
But also important to know whether or not
Yeah.
there is moisture there,
Right.
so you don't have to worry about
So if you peel up your plastic, 24 hours later, nothing, you're good to go to proceed to the next step. Other than that, you're going to do your calcium chloride test, wait another 24 hours, and then measure that.
Brett has a question. He wants to know on the flake system outside in freeze and in thaw environment, will it crack?
It will not crack. It has some fluctual whatever. Again, that's on the technical data sheet as well, but it will. There's some flex with that. Mike Foppel in Polytech, high up in there, he's the one who helped develop this. He said it could go up to like -25.
Oh wow.
And up to over 100. So.
And normally it would take a lot at that -25.
Again, with the moisture seal epoxy primer, it's epoxy, so colder it gets, it will get brittle, but it will expand and contract. Correct.
There's a certain amount of
So at the
flex in
real
that.
cold. So here's a very important aspect with epoxy flake and with spiked snow tires. You do not want to drive your spiked tires on it because it spikes and it's going to cut in. It's going to wear that layer. So what folks do is get stall mats and they cut strips and then they park on those for the winter time. They just put a couple strips of rubber mats down. So when you have
People
spiked
still
tires,
use studded snow tires?
oh yeah, they do all the time in Oregon.
I thought they
Yeah.
outlawed those.
No, they're allowed.
Shows what I know.
All
Change.
Good
right.
question, Brett. Yeah, we're going.
All right.
We want to know if we're going to have future flooring classes.
Yes,
Good question.
we are going to have future flooring classes.
3 times.
Say that 3 times. So that is actually what we're working on this week as well. Is we're going to sit down and put a class together, figure out what our price points are going to be, and we will definitely be letting you guys know that. So super excited about that. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. So this whole flooring thing is going to be just amazing. So Mitch you're just going to have to move to Texas.
I think so, because Kenny and I, when we were using that grinder today, that the real nice one, it's like, oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
Can be a serious money maker, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even a joke.
Yeah.
And you could rent that equipment in the bigger cities, like Medford doesn't have that nice of equipment. Because
Right,
you got San
right.
Antonio's. How big is San Antonio? Million?
Yeah,
Probably,
minimum.
right?
Yeah.
It's a lot
What?
of people.
Quite a
A
bit.
million people there?
More.
More?
There's
Yeah.
like 4 million.
Yeah, I don't know
Man.
that, but I don't.
Yeah,
I know it's a
pretty
bunch.
close to-
I don't know
There's a
if there's
whole
even
bunch.
4 million in Oregon altogether.
So
Yeah.
someone might ask that is doing either DIY or could also be a contractor.
Yeah.
That for that size of equipment and that piece of equipment, Mitch had explained to me that the wheels not only turn, but also the main wheel turns, and so it's extremely easy to use. Basically floats on the concrete, and it was amazing how quick and how easy it was. So as far as the cost goes, of if I sit up higher, will I get closer to the mic?
No, you just have to speak louder.
I'm working on it.
Everybody can hear you.
But people might ask, so if I'm a DIY guy and I want to rent this piece of equipment, what kind of cost am I looking at? So for what we did today,
So that guy was overkill, and we had a huge amount to do. You're looking
And we're on a very, very, very
a
tight
tight but time
tight
frame.
time
Right.
frame.
So a rental at your local yard, I'll put it this way: that rental, $700 to $800. At your local shop, you're talking $200. But you're gonna do, it's gonna take you
3 times.
3 times the amount of time. It's gonna, because you have 2 wheels spinning, and if you just went straight back, you'd have a strip right in the middle unground. Whereas the big boy has heads, 10-inch heads that spin, and then they rotate. So in a 20-inch circle, it's fully ground in seconds.
Seconds.
so for a contractor,
For a
you
contractor,
can actually do 3 or
right?
4.
Kenny and I were saying we could go pay $800 to get the vacuum, the rental, and then have 3 or 4 of these lined up and grind them all on day 1, get that rental back, and then go install the epoxy day 2 and 3, and have 4 jobs, 3 to 4 jobs done in 3 to 4 days, with a $800 to $900 rental fee, and you're talking $7 to $8 grand per job.
Right. Right.
So do the math, and then if you rent it, you start your business out that way. You don't have to go spend 25 grand on the unit. You could rent it, and then your jobs are buying that unit for you. You do 10 jobs, you can buy
Plus,
one.
tell them about the maintenance too. That was a big one that really.
Yeah,
They really got me.
the Sunbelt guy was telling us how much on those real high end units. The maintenance on them it's time consuming and expensive. So, and if you don't do it right, you're going to gouge the floor. It's not going to work right. So, if you could go get a turnkey unit like that,
Right.
and you have your customer pay for it, it pays for it. I mean,
And not have to spend
It's
all
a
that
money
time on
maker.
maintenance and cleaning and
we
upkeep. and-
ground I did 1,200 square feet in a restaurant. It took me 6 solid hours to grind it with a $200 a day
Wow.
grinder.
And with this one,
We did 1,000 square feet here at Kinney's.
a little about 1,200.
1,200, almost
Yeah.
1,200, about the same in an hour and a half.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, bam.
So that kind of brings to the table this product, even though it can be used by contractors
Yep.
easily,
Yep.
it's still safe enough and has the open time to allow the DIYer not to panic
Right.
and be worried about doing it themselves.
Or stinking out the whole
Right.
place.
Or
Right.
or having because guys, there's industrial floorings out there that are amazing, but just like with any other kind of epoxy that you have, even countertop epoxy, you're gonna have those industrial issues. You're gonna have the high VOCs. You're not, you're gonna have to
Quick
wear
time.
the correct PPE. And so with this new product line that they came out with, it's very, very durable. They've done the test. This is not something they just came up with in a week. This has been in the plannings for a long time with a lot of tests, and it's out there. It's not like we haven't done any floors. There's a lot of
Right.
floors out there that are being done, tested, all the R&R, R&D on
R&D
there.
for sure,
So
for
R&R.
well over a year.
Yeah, so
What's up?
Got a question. So, is there sample kits that a person can buy to try out the flooring product, or do they have to buy? Is there a kit, or is there just a
So-
little bit that they can buy, or a
No,
lot?
for sure. So on the flooring landing page, we have kits set up there, that 1-car garage kit, or 100 square foot like over wood with everything you need. Or down below, there's an a la carte section where you can kind of build your own kit. And at the smallest amount of mid coat, which is our flooring epoxy to make a metallic floor, is 1.5 gallons. So it's about $150. That's the lowest small
That would
size. you
cover
can
how
go.
much?
Okay.
And that kit right there, if you're gonna go 3 ounces per square foot, I'd have to do the math on
Is that what you would do, 3 ounces per square foot,
Yep.
whether it's flake or metallic?
No, sir.
Okay.
So completely two different systems.
Okay.
The moisture seal goes down real thin. That's about 1 ounce. That's about 3/4 of an ounce to 1.5 ounces max per square foot for that first coat for the flake. Because if you have puddles of that material, you broadcast the flake, you want a full flake coverage, the flake will sink into the resin.
Right.
So you want a thin coat.
Oh, sure.
It's just gluing that down, and then you come back on top of it with a polyaspartic top coat.
Gotcha.
Right. So let's kind of give everybody, because I know there's a lot of confusion. I mean, just listening to all this. So there's two types of floors. There's a flake floor system and a metallic floor system, which
Yep.
you can get all your pretty marbles and your veins and all that. So both start out by having the concrete ground and all the cracks filled.
Correct.
Okay. Then both will have the moisture barrier.
Yep.
Okay, both of those.
Yep.
Then the flake system, you're going to go directly over the moisture barrier with the flake. You're going to cast those flakes out,
Yep.
and then you're going to let that dry. Our metallic, we're going to let that moisture barrier dry.
Correct.
Okay, then we're going to come down with our metallic epoxy with all the colors.
With the colors in there.
Okay, then we're going to let that dry. So that's actually day 3. Day 2. We're at day 2, right? Where where it's still at day 1. Well, day 2 if you count the
Yeah,
sanding.
Yeah, you could if
Yeah.
you do it all. You could get up and start your day. You could do that in the same
Right.
day.
So then over your broadcast flake, you're going to put your polyaspartic.
Yep, correct.
Over your metallic, you're going to put your UTC.
We have
Or
UTC
the-
gloss, UTC matte, and the polyaspartic is compatible.
Got you. Okay. So there's 3 top coats that you could put on your metallic flooring. The UTC matte, which I'm so excited about. I've worked with it, and we're going to do lots of fun things with that. So
Yes.
the metallic gloss, the UTC gloss, the UTC matte, or a polyaspartic. Now, really quickly, tell me what's the difference and why would I choose a polyaspartic over
Copy.
the matte UTC
Okay.
or gloss UTC?
Gloss or matte UTC cannot be used on the flake system because the flake system is a little textured, and if the UTC stays in puddles, it can stay milky.
It will get milky.
Right.
That's
So
right.
do not use the UTC on the flake. You're always going to use the flake. Excuse me, the polyaspartic. The UTC is a hybrid water-based urethane, so it's going to perform
Same
a lot
thing.
like this.
Right, right.
The UTC flooring is different than the UTC countertop.
Right,
So they are formulated different. The flooring is open longer. It's actually a lot better on lap lines. I tested it where I thought I messed up, and it cleared up perfectly. I was pumped about that. So it's very easy to use. We're actually going to be doing some testing of it on the countertops while we're here.
What's the sheen?
There's gloss and
Oh,
matte.
there is. Of the
Exactly.
poly there is?
No, poly
Oh,
is
yeah.
high gloss.
The polyaspartic is a high
Yeah,
gloss.
for the people who want, they love the real high gloss epoxy look, you're going to do the polyaspartic. It will lay out gloss smooth just like epoxy, and a little bit more scratch resistant, definitely, and way more UV resistant.
Yeah. So the polyaspartic, from what I haven't worked a lot with the new one, but a polyaspartic, you're not I take everything back to the countertops. So if I were to pour a normal polyaspartic over a countertop, it doesn't give a uber smooth glass-like finish as far as being super smooth, because it doesn't seem.
You could see a little light.
Yes, it's just not as pretty. But so that's why we haven't used the polyaspartic as a top coat a lot in the countertops. But on the floor, you're not going to get down on your hands and knees and
Right.
look at
It's
that.
Because it's flat, you're not going to be able to see it as you would.
Exactly,
Right?
exactly. Okay, so good. So we're super excited. We're going to bring all that to you. I'm so stoked.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so do we have any other questions? What about some questions about countertops? All right, so we're both like looking here. Went on tape when you were doing dirty pour. All right. All right, so what? Okay, I don't know if Luke, if you're asking us a question, but this is a great. We are totally doing a 180. We're going to start talking about countertops now. All right, so a huge misconception or a misunderstanding in the industry right now is when do you tape your edges and when do you not tape your edges? Okay, so this is huge. And I know why there's confusion. A lot of the confusion is because there's a lot of videos out there, and there's a lot of videos with people using different products.
Right.
So there's some people that use a 2-to-1 epoxy as their countertop epoxy, which is fine, but it's not the same as what we use, which is a 1-to-1. Okay, so your 2-to-1 is going to be much thinner, and it's going to require much more product to be on the surface when you do your design. So if you put more product, you're going to have to somehow force that product to stay on the surface until that product can start to gel up. And then when you pull your tape, it's going to be gelled enough so that when it rolls over, it's going to be very thick and it's going to roll over very slowly and give you amazing edges. So if you're using our product, Stone Coat Countertop, as a 1-to-1, if you tape your edges and you're not using at least 4 to 5 ounces, even 6 ounces. I mean, basically, I go 6 ounces for a melded marble, and I go up from there out on a dirty pour. If you're not using that amount of epoxy on your surface, and you're taping your edges, guys, you're going to have issues with your edges, because what's happening is if you're taping at 3 ounces per square foot, and you're allowing that tape to stay on, now your epoxy's starting to gel. When you pull that tape off, there's not enough product on that surface that's already started to gel to push over the edges. At 3 ounces per square foot, there's just not enough product.
There's barely any drips.
Right.
Often when you just do a clear coat
Yeah.
at 3 ounces,
Exactly.
there's minimal. That's where the 3 ounces came from. It fully coats it with the least amount of waste.
Exactly.
It self-levels at 3 ounces per square foot.
Right.
At
So
about an
if
eighth of an
you-
inch.
Yeah, so if you put a tape on there, it self-levels at 3 ounces, there's nothing left to flow.
Right,
So
exactly.
if you have that in your head, that's
Right.
the reason why you're putting that tape down up there.
Right. So if we do a melded marble or a dirty pour, and we're using excess of 6 ounces or 6, 8, 10. I mean, I've done big pours right like this. We did 25 gallons. We did this whole piece, and I think we used 10 to 12 ounces per square foot.
Yeah.
And the reason we did that is because we had so much area that we needed that product to flow out. And if you don't have enough product on the surface to push the rest of that product over the edge when you pull the tape, that's when you're going to get your edges with the little drips,
Yeah.
or you're going to get waves on your edges or something like that. So that's the confusion. Don't tape your edges for a flood coat, especially if you're only using 3 ounces per square foot, because you'll get terrible edges.
Yep.
Okay, so that's
That's that. Now, and
got that off my chest.
Yep.
Okay. What else? What else? What else can we say? Let's see. What's going on here? I have never used tape. It's when you're doing okay. I'll let
Here's a
somebody
question:
else.
is the white metallic resin powder, aka diamond dust? And no, those are two completely different products.
yeah, diamond dust is not an actual mica powder.
It's a
More of a glitter, basically. It's a finer
It's
glitter.
right. There might be a part mica in there. I'm
Yeah.
not too sure.
so. Here's how I explain it in class.
But it is.
So mica powder, all right, is the smallest particle of mica that you can get, and it will actually change the color of your epoxy. You can actually tint it.
Dyes it, right.
It tints it. When you put it in there and you stir it in and you pour it out on your table, it has physically changed the color of your epoxy. And it's very metallic. Now you can get mica powders that aren't metallic. Most of them are metallic. And then you go up from there. So the next size particle is our diamond dust. Okay. One more thing about the mica powders. The mica powders you can mix with the alcohol in a spray bottle, and that's how we get those beautiful effects when we spray them out on our surface. A diamond dust or a gold dust is a little bit bigger particle.
Right.
Not as big as a glitter, but smaller, but bigger than a powder, the powder. So those actually kind of suspend themselves in the resin. Unless you super overload it, it's not going to physically change the color of your resin. Right. It's just going to give it like a little sparkle,
shimmer in there.
a shimmer.
Right.
And I do put dust in my flood coat. That's one of the few things that I'll actually put in my flood coat. Then we have mica flakes. Mica flakes are basically big flakes of mica. They haven't been crushed up into the powder yet. And those are what we use like when we're trying to get a quartz look and stuff like that. So, and then we have our glitters. The glitters that we sell are very fine glitter, just a little bit bigger than our diamond dust. So they actually kind of suspend too. But those are still too big to put into your squirt bottles.
Yeah.
So I'm going to back you up just a little bit on the diamond dust on adding that to your clear coat. So there's that issue of, is it still food safe if I have added diamond dust to my flood coat?
Yes.
Okay.
It is. It is
Because
because it's
That's
such
makeup
a
grade as well.
yeah, and it's and so I'm putting such a tiny bit of that diamond dust in my flood coat, and that diamond dust is sinking and being suspended. So when I wipe, there's nothing to come off.
Because it's
And
below
it
the
is heavy.
surface.
It's below
of
the
your
surface
flood coat.
of the flood coat. Also, like you said, this is makeup grade products.
Yep.
All right, there's a lot.
lipstick.
It works amazing.
Um,
So
And have you done a coaster with diamond dust and pulled it out and see the bottom? It's all at the bottom. It all
yeah,
Right,
so
right.
so that's why a lot of times when I'm doing diamond dust veins, I'll say wait a little bit and let your epoxy start to
Thicken.
set up, thicken in your cup. That way, when you drag it across, it's going to stay up. It's
You
not
don't
going to
lose them.
sink.
They don't.
Right.
It's not going to
Sink
fall
into
down
the
as
resin.
much.
I've had them
Right.
say, like, I thought I put
yeah.
diamond dust in here. And
Yeah.
it's gone.
So that brings up a really good thing about the food safety. Really quick. So not all epoxy has a FDA food safety approval for incidental
Food
contact. Okay. So that's the rating that the FDA will give. It's an incidental food contact, which means you're not necessarily supposed to store food in it, because if you do, in 1,500 years, it might kill a rat. Alrighty, so
Yeah.
that's
After
what
it sits on there for 1,500
right.
years.
So that's the amount of product that would leach into your food. So Stone Coat is very Stone Coat. Now I'm not speaking for any other epoxy out there. I'm speaking for the FDA rating that Stone Coat has. It is very, very safe until you cut on it. Epoxy is not meant to be cut on because you can cut it. Just like you can cut any other surface. Quartz. Then what happens is your bacteria will get down into that cut, segregated area, and now you've got some issues.
Yeah.
But the actual product itself is very, very safe, and that's why we put a flood coat over our color coat, especially if we have put spray paint or if we have put any kind of dyes, alcohol, any of that. Now we have contaminated, we've messed with the integrity of that epoxy, and by flooding it, we brought all of those characteristics, that FDA approval, all of those characteristics back to where they started with our clear flood coat.
So with that being said, granite should be sealed once a year.
More
correct?
than that.
Okay.
Yep.
So if you're putting a sealer on there and then you need to reseal it, that means that sealer is being transferred
It
to
wears.
either washcloths, towels, food, etc. So where we have a surface that is waterproof and is impervious, right?
Yep.
Granite, if you've got a sealer on there, it's transferring somewhere.
Well,
So-
it works the same thing with these ceramic coatings. So the same
Right.
thing. The UTC, the Ultimate Top Coat, it does have an FDA approval
Correct.
for food safety, just
Yeah.
like the
For
epoxy
the
does.
commercial, we had to do that for contractors who do commercial work in restaurants.
Exactly.
It has to have it has to be
Right.
signed off.
But now here's my issue with some of these ceramic coatings that you paint wipe on, which let me tell you, I'm gonna get down in trouble here. Those ceramic coatings, they're great if you want some gloss, but they do not have near the protection that the UTC has. There's no way that it can, because it is microns thin. So it cannot provide the scratch resistance that something that is a heavier, thicker coating like a polyurethane. Alrighty, so if you're putting on these ceramic coatings and you're putting that on, and it tells you that yes, this does have to be reapplied often, and that is very dependent on how much you clean it, how much traffic you have. You have to remember that product is going somewhere. It's coming off on something. So if you're worried about that, then you need to really do your research and find out if that ceramic coating that you're using is you're getting what you think you're getting.
Right.
All right.
Very true.
All right. Next, let's see. We have any more questions?
Did we answer all these?
Well, yes, they were all. All right. So someone said, can you use the polyaspartic outdoors in direct sunlight?
Yeah, you sure can.
Okay. Yeah, I think we
The
touched on
higher
that.
temperatures, direct sunlight's going to shorten the working time a little bit, but you got about an hour to get that down.
Okay.
Well over an hour in a garage out of direct sunlight. So we're going to know tomorrow. Couple days really. A good
Yep.
test. I will personally. Mike Foppel, who's done the majority of the R&D in Michigan, he says it shortens the working time about 10 minutes. So
Yeah.
What are my concerns with the polyaspartic over the epoxy if I'm using that outside? Are there any concerns, any more concerns if I'm using a poly
Like a
over-
bonding concern or anything like that? No.
Well, but you really wouldn't
Well, the
use.
integrity of the resin that's underneath the polyaspartic, is it still going to, through temperature change, is it still
Oh yeah,
going to?
they're made as a system to work together like that. The warm, cold flex contraction and expansion. It's totally good with that.
Okay.
The flake actually also flexes a hair with a system. So
All right,
If
cool.
we find the polyaspartic is a good top coat for countertops in certain situations, if I were going to do an outdoor table, but then put a top coat of polyaspartic over it,
Is it gonna protect
So-
is that
your?
going to give me? Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Yes.
it works. So the polyaspartic does work more so as like a sunscreen than like an art coat over it, right?
Right.
Right.
It definitely will do that. But right now, do not use like it's gonna work. It's gonna bond. But I've tried multiple times with the poly on epoxy, and I am not. They're working on the chemistry to tweak it to be a better countertop.
So
top
we're not
coat.
ready for that
Right.
yet.
So
No.
that
Right.
was the
That's a
point.
good
I
point.
didn't
Yes.
want that. I didn't want people to go out here and start buying this polyaspartic, saying, "Oh, now
Right.
I'm going to
No.
start putting
Patio
on
tables.
all of
Nope.
my countertops."
This particular polyaspartic is designed to be very thin. You roll it out with a roller. If I've gone and mixed it up and poured it as a dirty pour, it cured hard, but I couldn't get the air out. Like
Right,
it was,
right.
it was off. There's a problem with the off gassing. So right now they're tweaking the chemistry to get
Right.
the off gassing to
Right.
be better.
Yeah. So
it's coming down the road.
yeah, just hold.
Pump
Believe
the brakes.
me. Believe me.
It's coming.
Believe me. I'm trying. If it can be done, I am going to try it 6 ways to Sunday. I promise you.
And yes, Vamp,
All
the
right.
air conditioning did kick on.
Yes. Sorry, guys. We're about to die in here. Okay. Really quick, a couple of announcements.
Let me answer
Oh,
Brett
sure,
real quick.
sure, absolutely.
Brett, you got well over an hour to work with that poly before you want to stop messing with it.
That polyaspartic?
Yeah, top coat.
There was a question: are you gonna have to reapply the UTC down the road, or is it a one and done?
One and
One
done.
and done.
Yeah, but you can always, just like with your countertops, if you get damage, you could scuff it up and reapply down the
And
road.
I have a video that just released on my YouTube channel last week that talks about if you have either damage or you have a UTC top that maybe just didn't come out exactly like you want, or it's just not as smooth as you want. I have a whole video, guys, that you really need
good one.
to watch, and it'll show you how to use different products to get your UTC super smooth. And if you have to remove it, I talk about exactly how you need to remove it and reapply. So yeah, so check out my latest video on my channel,
And
it'll
that's on
be
your
there.
YouTube channel, because we get a ton of questions about reapplying the UTC.
Yes.
Or it's been damaged, or if I put on gloss, they decided they want matte, or vice
And
versa.
that's actually what I did in
You
the
cover
video.
all that.
Yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
actually
That's a
did
good
that in the
video.
video. Is I had matte and I sanded it and I applied gloss and it looked amazing.
That's awesome.
So yeah, so the biggest thing that I can tell you guys about the UTC is I have a PDF. I will send it to you. I don't know if Clara has that link. I have a very, very, very detailed video on the application process of the UTC. But the biggest thing that I can tell you guys is you have to do sample boards. All right, if you don't do sample boards and set those expectations with yourself or with your customer of what your finish is going to look like with UTC, then you're setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, this product is so durable that when you put it on, it is a booger to get off, which it should be. We don't want to put something on there that's very easy to get off. So it is a booger to get off. Ask my husband.
Or Bruce. Is Bruce watching tonight? He has sanded down a few top coats and reapplied.
Yeah. So the thing is once you get that application process down and you learn it, you use the correct amount of water, you use the correct products, application products to put it on there. I'm telling you, it is beautiful. We teach it in every class, and they are shocked. The students are shocked when they come in here and they see how incredibly smooth that both the gloss and the matte can be. They're like, this is nothing what we expected. That we have got it down to where the gloss has a very, very minimal amount of visual texture, which any gloss coat that you put on a surface with a roller is going to have a slight visual texture when the light hits it just right. Period. It's going to happen. So that's why you need to do your sample boards and you need to set those expectations of what you're going to have. Is it going to knock the super high gloss down of regular epoxy? Yes, it is. But in my opinion, that knocking that super high gloss
Like,
down,
look at this.
I love.
They just asked about.
This has the gloss UTC
Yes.
on it, right?
So I love the fact that it takes that super high gloss and it makes it not look like plastic. Because in my opinion, if I do a Carrera marble and it's super, super high gloss, it looks like plastic. But if I put the matte UTC over it, it literally looks like a piece of stone.
It's true. And the gloss is almost a leathered granite. I mean, that was getting real popular towards the end of my granite career, and I love it. And the subtle, very subtle texture actually helps with the.
Hold on.
It actually helps with the.
I don't know what
scratch
happened.
resistance.
I don't
Yeah.
know either.
So, and y'all can't go strictly by what this looks like because this foil itself is textured. All right, so it's made to look textured.
It
It
still
has,
looks,
like,
it still
scales.
looks amazing.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
looks-
the finish is amazing.
And let me say, this has been through 6 classes now, I think, and we've had everything in the world thrown on it.
And the 4 of us.
Yeah, and it looks like the day that we poured it. So it is amazing. I do have a video on this exact application table, and it is amazing.
And when you go to do your samples on your UTC, do it on a big enough board where you're not just doing one roller.
Yes.
You want to test your lap lines.
Yes.
You'll really learn how light you need to go on that dry roll to eliminate those lap lines. And the mixing instructions are getting updated on the back of the bottle. Rhonda has nailed the formulation. It's getting printed on the back of those labels when we burn through them. And we're setting up a direct email where when you buy the UTC, those directions are coming right to you with the video. So we're trying to help folks out with a
Good.
higher texture that they're
And make
unhappy
sure,
with.
Mitch made a really, really good point about not just doing your sample boards, but on a larger surface. When you've got a 20, 30, 40 square foot countertop set, and you're about to apply the UTC and you've only done it on
Your
the
mama.
sample boards, make sure you're watching the YouTube videos to see how that is being applied to a larger surface, because it is different than doing it on a small sample board.
All right, so we had a question. Can I find the similar UTC in Home Depot? Absolutely no, you cannot. You cannot. Don't even try. All right, let me see. What's the brand name of the grinding machine?
I'm grabbing that.
Do y'all remember? Okay. Paul, Mitch is trying to get that for you right now.
It was a
Leave it in the
beast. I can't even imagine.
It was huge. It was
yeah,
huge.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
How well it
600
worked.
pounds it weighed.
It weighs
600
600
pounds?
pounds.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It
So
was a 20-inch.
20 inch. Kenny's saying it was 20 inch.
I don't know what the name of it was though.
Yeah. So you look
I'm not going to argue with him.
discombobulated.
I'm not going to argue with him. Yeah.
All right. So we have any other questions, really quick, while Mitch is looking for that brand name? Let's see. I'll see. I did my first countertop 2 weeks ago, and I'm thrilled how it turned out. Old Fish
Awesome.
Guy for the win.
Nice.
Woohoo! Okay, Old Fish Guy, this is what you need to do. Old Fish Guy, you need to email me at Rhonda at RK3Designs.com. Give me your t-shirt size. You just want a t-shirt. It'll go out to you tomorrow.
And send a picture of your biggest fish.
I would.
We want to see it.
It was a Lavina 30 GE.
Lavina 30 GE.
And that's a 30-inch because that was
Sunbelt.
barely fit
Here,
through
let's
the
see.
doorway.
Let me see.
Right.
Which one was it?
It's this bad boy.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see this, Kenny. Bring it up.
Look at that beast.
Here it is, the LGE. Yeah.
Lisa
It was
had-
overkill. I mean, it was probably double the size we needed for that, but it
Yeah.
was fast.
That
Yeah.
was amazing.
You know, boys and their toys.
Yeah, it was fun.
Lisa Rumberger had a great question. Where'd it go? Oh, will the formulation of the UTC depend on temperature and humidity up north versus south?
Well.
I think air
Well-
movement. We didn't really. Well, the humidity we noticed a little bit out
Yeah.
in Hawaii.
Well,
Yeah.
temperature.
Dude, it dried fast.
Yes. So
Yeah.
temperature, absolutely. In that, in very warm temps, especially the
Air movement.
UTC natural, it is going to set up very, very quickly. If I'm fortunate that I have someone who does my dry rolling for me, but on a large countertop, if I start from right to left and I wet roll right to left, by the time I get back to that right side to dry roll, it's already setting up. So warm temps can definitely make a big difference. Air movement, absolutely make a big difference. Cooler temps, it's not going to set up as fast.
Right.
So you need to understand your environment of where you're at and the amount of product that you're putting down and your method of how quickly you need to get that dry roll before it is starting to set up. Because remember, your dry roller, there's a purpose behind dry rolling, right? I mean, you're putting down your wet roller, putting it down with your wet roller, you're gonna, that's what I do. I back roll one last time with my wet roller, that takes away the heavy lap lines. My dry roller, all it's doing is picking up a little bit of product, which means I have to have enough down there for it to pick up. It's gonna pick up just a little bit of product and completely smooth over the surface, and that's what gives me an awesome finish with my UTC every time I
Yeah.
use
Are
it.
you talking about what?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, great question here. I use heavy steel wheels on engine hoists, engine stands, and car dollies with steel wheels. Will this hold up if applied as instructed? Absolutely. What will hurt the floors are the spikes, tires, anything real sharp that you slide across. So if there's steel wheels and they're rolling, they're just fine. And if it's sharp, put a felt pad under it or something and don't slide it, and you're good to go.
All right. Okay.
I park my motorcycle on it, and the kickstand, gets down. I was a little concerned, always parking in the same spot, and I've noticed no wear and tear, and it's been a minute.
Okay,
while
so
on there.
I'm gonna ask you a question.
Okay.
What about a flake system in my wash rack area for my horses?
Totally.
My horses
You
have
could,
shoes.
you could do it vertical as well if you wanted. Like if you wanted
Okay.
to hose that thing down.
Okay.
No, yeah, you should be fine with that.
All right.
Because
So
are the shoes
check
aren't
it out.
sharp, right? Are they kind of
these-
rounded?
Yeah, they're a smooth. Now there are spike shoes, but we don't
They're
keep
like
them.
cleats.
Well, we don't keep them on
Oh,
those. Those are
cool.
just for special
Yeah, but that
arenas.
should- yeah, it
But
should be.
yeah, the flat, yeah. So,
It-
but how slick is it? A flake floor?
It's not real slick.
It would
No.
be less slick than like having them on
Oh.
concrete, right?
It should be, yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
Cool.
And with the grit, I don't know what with the horseshoe and on the grit. I don't know,
It'd
but
probably
it's
be okay for the cows.
yeah.
Yeah.
For a wash rack.
That would be
For
a
the
good
cattle, for
test
the-
too,
yeah.
because cows sit there and do this too. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I think you're all
All
right.
right.
wait, we're gonna do our horse wash area, so we'll let you know.
We could do Connie's.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
All right.
let's do it.
Okay.
Good test.
I'm so excited. Alrighty. So, any other questions?
Can the flake system can go vertical. The
Yeah.
metallic system is it's a 2-to-1. It's real running.
Right.
So
Right.
like it would not be compatible.
Yeah. So,
vertically.
Clarence, the grid's gonna go in the metallic. I'm not putting a metallic down. I'm putting a flake floor. Alrighty.
The non-skid additive goes in the UTC or the polyaspartic top coat.
Yeah. Perfect.
You don't want to
Okay.
put it in the
Yeah.
the other part,
Yeah.
the epoxy.
Oh,
Okay.
my mom was on.
Uh-oh.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
How you doing? Glad you made it.
Okay, so a couple of things. We do still offer the free shipping for all orders over $100. And we still do same day shipping, guys, if you order before noon. Oh, and this is huge. I'm so glad I remembered this. All right, so we had an issue from the manufacturer. Something happened where the gloss UTC got put into the matte boxes. So if you ordered from me, and we've gotten it fixed, okay, guys? But if you've ordered from me and you ordered matte UTC, but you received gloss when you open the box, you need to send me a photo of what you got and the order number, and I will replace that at no cost. Okay, guys?
Do they get to keep the other one?
Yes, you get to keep the other one.
Bonus.
Alrighty, so anyway, I apologize for that. We caught it, but we sent out quite a few that we didn't catch. So I apologize for that. So one other thing I wanted to talk to you about is insurance on your orders. Guys, we offer a third-party insurance. It's called Route, and it's pennies on the dollar. But what it does is it insures your products 100% plus your shipping. So FedEx, I don't have to tell y'all, FedEx is horrible about taking care of your product. You put a sticker that says this side up, it's going to be delivered that
Upside
side
down.
upside down. It's horrible. So they have a lot of lawyers that work for them that are able to skirt around any reason to be able to refund your money if they damage your product. That's why we have the route system, and it's all covered. All you have to do is make sure you send us a photo of the damage, of the box, and of your sticker, your label, and then we will file it, and we will immediately, the next day, we're going to send you new products, no questions asked. All right? So make sure that you don't opt out of that. If you opt out, you have to intentionally opt out. If you do that, you're not covered. All righty, guys? And you're on your own. So just want you to know that. All righty. Any other questions? Let's see. Hey, Mitch, if a garage floor is
Out of level.
very out of level,
Ooh,
I
that's
don't have
a
my
great question.
glasses on.
Hey, Mitch, the garage floor is very out of level, and I wanted to flake it. How should I go about that? So the flake system is the only one that's going to be good when you're really out of level because that moisture seal is thick. It's a very thin coat. So you're going to apply it thin and flake it. It's not like you're applying 3 ounces that's now going to all shift down to the drain. So I would, some garages have a little slope and then a real steep drain, like bam. I would start there and almost just real nice and tape your drain off, real thin, flake it, and then do the rest of your floor. The real steep, just focus on that first so you don't apply too much, then it just pools up on your drain. Just focus on that real steep side. But
So to what extent, because most garage floors are going to slope towards the garage door.
yeah.
So
Right.
to what extent, at what point would I want to say, no, not going to do a metallic because, so is a normal garage floor, which is what, 1/8 inch per foot?
I don't know. I would have to look that code
I
up.
think
It,
it's either
it
1/8
varies
or
on
1/4 inch
state
per
by
foot.
state too.
Yeah.
But I would say anything over 3 inches.
This is
I don't know, bro. That's insane though. That would be way out.
Right, 3 inches in a 24-foot span. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, okay, I just did a floor in my upstairs, and I should have thrown a level on it, and I also should have caulked around the perimeter because it was upstairs, right, corner room, and everything. The floor actually had a little bow, so everything moved. I put this beautiful spray paint vein through my floor that then just disappeared. It went right under the wall.
Okay, so Luke says, what if since this, gosh, dog it, where'd it go? What if since the slab has several low and high spots, very old, and because of what water pulls everywhere, but I want
It to be more
It
it
level.
to be more level. Can you do an
So
overlay?
I would do an overlay. I would do a
Yeah.
level quick overlay over that. Cement. You would still want to rough that up a little bit as best you can, and then level quick that bad boy. That'll fill in all your low spots. It dries real quick. Then you have a nice level.
But
surface.
they would want to do a moisture test on that first, right?
Yeah, for sure. You're
Yeah.
probably the slabs blow up like that often when water gets in there and then it freezes and expands. It can
Right.
blow up the concrete.
Yeah.
And
okay.
which this is the epoxy going off. If you level quick that and then you put your epoxy over that, you're protecting that slab from that happening down the road too. Like
Oh,
on your
wow.
front porch, if that happens, totally.
Right.
Okay, well, guys, it's almost been an hour.
That was fun.
Wow,
That
was
was
crazy.
fun.
Fast.
Yeah, it
Those are
did.
great questions.
All right, do y'all have any announcements that you need to make?
Announcements.
He's
No.
the best.
Kenny is the best. The best.
I don't even.
Would you agree with that?
I do. I have a choice. I
She
don't
agrees.
think I have a choice.
We're all in agreement. He's in control of the camera right now.
That's
Yes,
right.
That's
Yeah.
right.
We have a sale going on a couple kits over at the website, but grab some stuff from Rhonda while you're here.
Yeah.
Leave us
Hey,
alone.
you know what?
Support Rhonda, that supports
Okay,
us.
that's gonna bring me in. I am so glad you said support because I have a little
Bone to pick.
burr under my saddle,
Oh boy.
and here we go. And I've had just enough Evan to share it with everyone.
That's lemonade.
Yeah, that's lemonade in your cup. Okay, here's the deal. Guys, this industry is blowing up. Alrighty? And there is so many talented people out there. Way talented, more talented. Wow. Way more talented than me. Let's be a family and let's support each other. All right, there is no room in this industry for jealousy, stabbing each other in the back, and all of that. Guys, this market is so untouched that there is so much room for all of us. Whether
Yep.
you're doing countertops, flooring, art pieces, it doesn't matter. If you put out a video or you put out a picture and you used X amount of colors in it or whatever, be proud, be glad you did it. But someone else, don't get offended because they may have used the same colors that you did and they didn't name it the same thing that you did or something, or they used spray paint in it and they're offended that you didn't give them kudos for saying you're the one that showed them how to do that. Nothing is new. We've
Right.
all done this. I've been using colors and spray paints and epoxy for 7 years.
And
the
you haven't
thing-
been holding any of your information back.
Right. We need to share. We need to be different. We need to show people in this industry that we can all get along and just help each other because that is so important. I am so proud when someone posts a video and that's their first video, or it's their first piece, and they use something that I may have shown them, okay? Which means I probably saw it for somebody else. But I'm so proud when someone does that, and it makes my heart so happy when I see other people give them kudos. But it irritates the living fire out of me when I see somebody jump on there and be ugly. I just can't stand it. So guys, just love each other.
Yep.
Support each other because you don't know if that one comment that you make to somebody about how good their piece looks
Right.
Has an effect.
has an effect on their whole life.
Yep.
Okay? It really, I'm telling you,
Or the
I know it
opposite of
happens.
that.
Well, and
The
it's
negative,
another-
how much that can hurt that
Exactly.
person. So
Or
what does
it's-
it hurt you just to say, wow, cool.
And
Nice
it's
job.
Right.
other artisans out there that are creating things. When they see banter, then they think, oh, well, then that means I can't use or do something else someone else did.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right.
And Rhonda's RK3 Insiders Tips, Tricks, and Fun Facts really is an extremely supportive group where everybody just try really hard to work together, to help each other. I had one person, I had posted a sample board, and she was asking for my permission to be able to recreate that.
Yeah.
I have no patent on this. I learned everything that I did from everyone else,
Right.
from Rhonda, from Mike, from Mitch, from
Right.
everyone
And
else,
you
and
make
all
it
the other
your
artisans.
own.
Yes.
You make it your own, and that's what's important, and that's why we're here, is to support every single
Totally.
person.
Yeah.
So, I feel so much better now.
Yeah. My greatest joy out of this whole thing is legitly hearing the folks, seeing the people come to this class that make a serious change for their own life. They
That's
become
right.
their own boss. Mitch, the videos I watched, I learned how to do my own countertops. Now I quit being a garbage man. I got my contractor's license and I'm doing this for a living.
That's
I
We
got
hear that.
nothing
Look at
feels
that.
better.
We
Look
hear
at
that.
Wow.
It's
Yeah.
goosebumps.
That's
We
legit
get
what I
that
love.
every time we come to class.
Yes.
We have changed, and I don't say we. I'm talking the stuff in the jug, and I'm gonna have that on a T-shirt. The stuff in the jug has absolutely changed people's lives.
Changed mine.
And I'm telling you, the people that we've met, we've been to Hawaii, we're going to Australia. I'm so excited.
Stuff in
So
the jug.
all of that stuff has changed people's lives, and we, Kenny and I know you are, and I know you are, and I know Erica is, and I know Clara and Vamp, they have seen people's lives change. And that just, I don't even know how I got on this soapbox, but I just want to tell you
had to
guys,
burn your saddle.
I had a burn in my saddle, that's right. So guys, we just want to say, we support you.
Thank
We
you.
love you. We thank you for letting us be a very small part of your life.
Thanks for being
and-
a part of ours.
That's right.
Yeah.
You got this.
And you got this.
Yeah.
Alrighty, and don't be scared. Move forward and be creative. How about that?
Wow,
All right,
that
guys.
was very not so dramatic,
It
huh?
wasn't. You want me to be dramatic? I
Yeah,
can
let's
be
do that
dramatic.
again.
All right, you
No, too
remember.
late.
No,
Adios!
Nope.
I said
Don't
bye.
you adios me. I am not done yet.
Remember, we have to be nice. He's the one
I'm
that controls
the
the
guy behind the
camera.
camera. I can
You're
turn
not,
you off
nope,
right
nope,
now.
Nope.
Oh, the heat's rising.
We're all gonna
Okay.
say it. We're gonna say, you got this, right?
Right?
And remember, don't be scared. Move forward and be
And be
creative.
creative.
Wow, that
Love
was
y'all.
wow. All right.
Better the first
Adios.
round.
Come on.
I said bye.
Bye.
y'all.